Hi there, it's the Arab Carthage bringing you a Rome Total War online commentary battle. As you can see, I'm playing as the Scipii Romans. I'm bound and determined to learn how to play good with another faction, and so I've decided to try and learn how to play as the Romans, of course without using urban cohorts and Praetorian cavalry. I was a bit worried about this battle because it's a Rome versus Rome battle, and a lot of times people always bring Urbans and Praetorian cavalry to a Rome versus Rome battle. So as you can see, I'm already engaged in a missile duel. I have 4 units of Roman archers. Here I have 4 units of legionary cavalry. On the front line I have 5 units of legionary cohorts, and then I have 1 unit of legionary first cohort. So I have my general placed on one flank and the legionary first cohort on the other flank to provide morale support to my men as they'll be fighting these Bruttii Romans here. My opponent has 6 units of Praetorian cavalry. He has 3 on either flank. As you can see, this unit's a bit depleted. He brought in a little bit of a movement like he was going to come after my archers, and so I directed my missile fire at them and depleted them. Let's take a look at my opponent's army. Up front he had 5 units of archer auxilia, all of which are heavily depleted at this point because they weren't in loose formation, and quite honestly, I'm not very impressed with archer auxilia other than their range. I've used them a lot recently, and every time I've used them, I've lost the missile duel, even when I had superior numbers. Maybe it was due to my foolish usage, I don't know. I know they have better stats, but for some reason, I always don't do well with them. So on the front, my opponent has 5 units of urban cohorts. In the back, he has a legionary first cohort and 2 legionary first cohorts. He has a light auxilia unit here, I imagine he wants to use to absorb pila, and he has another urban cohort unit here. Alright, let's take a look at this. My opponent's bringing in a cavalry strike on this wing. I charge my general unit into his Praetorians, and my unit of archers routes, and then I bring in my unit, or all my units of legionary cavalry. As you can see from this mess here, his units are going to get the worst of it. His Praetorian cavalry isn't upgraded. In fact, I don't remember seeing upgrades on any of his units. So that's going to give me one advantage that I badly need. But even not upgraded, his urban cohorts are every bit as good as my gold legionary cohorts. The only thing they're not as good at, of course, is the quality of their upgrades, but their stats are probably similar. Not to mention they can throw their javelins further than my legionary cohorts can. So anyway, the archer duel is going to continue. I need to use my archer supremacy to my advantage, and hopefully take out his cavalry. If I can take out his cavalry, then I can win this fight. Otherwise, it will be an uphill battle for me. So here he brings his cavalry out again, and he's going to go for a charge at my general unit. I suppose he's trying to kill my general to get a morale factor. But because I have gold upgrades, my men can take the charge. And then of course I reinforce them with my cavalry immediately. And his units rout, all except for 1 unit. And they take archer fire on the way out too. Yeah, they're down to 33 men. So once again, I'm going to reform my line. I'm going to fast forward a bit to make sure this video isn't too long. So here we go. Alright, let me show you the strategy I'm using here. I put my men into loose formation. This is an attempt to keep his urban cohorts from slaughtering me in a massive pila storm, because they do have a farther range, so they're going to get the first shot on me. So I put my men in loose formation, and this does greatly reduce the damage that I take, thank goodness. I do still take casualties, but this unit only took 7 casualties here. I've taken 10 casualties here, and his units are taking large casualties. This unit's down to 47 men, 49 men, 55 men. Yeah, so his units took far worse casualties in that pila exchange, even though his urban cohorts have a high missile attack and a further range. So I have to quickly move my men back into tight formation. Some of my men get caught a little bit out of it, the others get back into tight formation. That was good Roman discipline there, following my commands exactly. And here I bring in a quick hammer and anvil strike before his second line of infantry can reinforce. And I rout that unit of Urbans. Ooh, that was awesome. Look at those guys flying in the air. And so I bring these cavalry over and pull in another hammer and anvil strike, but these Urbans aren't as fixed, and so they're going to last a lot longer. So I leave my cavalry there in a melee fight because they can handle it, and my units here are holding out well. These legionary cohorts are holding their own against those Urbans. Here he reinforces with his legionary the first cohort, so my men are in a bit of trouble here, and they have a little force of his remnant cavalry attacking them. So I bring over my cavalry and quickly rout them. So the battle's totally in my favor at this point. I'm going to start wrapping up his flank. Here comes these men that have defeated their unit they were opposing. He brings in his unit of light auxilia to try and buy some time, because that's all he can do at this point. So my opponent brought more expensive units, but he didn't upgrade them, and so it allowed my men to stand their ground long enough to either win or for my cavalry to intercede. So right now I'm setting up a massive encirclement attack with my cavalry and my extra legionary cohorts. And here I come into the rear of his legionary first, and on this side my cavalry are about to put a massive hammer and anvil strike on his first cohort. And they rout immediately, and that causes his other units to rout because of the morale factor.
Please press forward so the spirit of his army is broken too.
So as you can see, just by using some tactics here, I defeated this Urban and Praetorian cavalry army. Granted, they weren't upgraded, so that helped me. But just like the loose formation I used, that really helped out.
It is time to press the attack.
And here I routed a regrouped unit of his. And my opponent said good game, and then he left the game. But it was no big deal because he just had this one unit of archers here. And so that was the end of the battle.
This is a crushing victory, worthy of a great general.
Yeah, so I'm still developing my Roman tactics. I did pretty good here. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm great with them, but I was going to show you the tactics I used here in a Rome versus Rome. I think someone asked me to do that not too long ago. So as you can see, I deployed 1,064 men, had 1,435 kills, and 807 men remaining. And the Ant, VN, deployed 1,547 men, had 293 kills, and had 99 men remaining. So that was a heroic victory for me. Good game to the Ant.